Now, what I am about to share with you in this video is something that I've never publicly shared on YouTube, because today I'm sharing what I believe is the biggest obstacle when manifesting. So this is why you always fall back in your old state and why you perceive it as hard and challenging for you to stay in your desired state and eventually also see the results of your desired state. Right? So let's just dive right in. And I want to start this off by a quote from Neville. And then we're going to look at an illustration that I've also never publicly shared on YouTube. And if you understand this illustration, you will not only have discovered this one obstacle that is holding most people back from manifesting, but also will you be able to stay in your desired state. And that is, of course, my goal for you. So like Neville said, man finds it very hard to leave the things to which he has grown accustomed. We all are grown stuck in the habitual. So this video will also include a secret that not much people are talking about, which is the secret of habit, right? Why habit is such a strong force, and that also states can be habitual. And probably your old state, the state that you right now aim to shift out of, that is currently habitual. So you always are being like a magnet. It always draws you back to itself. But how can you break that? And what is that obstacle that prevents you from staying in your desired state? Let's talk about this right now. And here is this one illustration that I now want to discuss with you. And I really want you to listen carefully and to watch closely so that this makes sense. Right, let's start. Bring your attention to this left top corner here. And this is a journey, right? So when we go into those manifestation teachings, the pin starts with we discovering the manifestation teachings at some point, right? It's either because we experienced a breakup and we want to manifest this person back, right? So we want to manifest the LSP. Either we are in a very challenging financial situation, we want to manifest more money, but we notice that, hey, maybe it does not have something to do only with the outside. It's also like something on the inside that could change. And then we eventually stumble upon manifestation teachings. Maybe it is health related. Maybe you don't feel respected, or you always attract the same type of person in your life. You're always treated the same way that triggers you. So whatever happens, but usually discomfort or dissatisfaction eventually leads us to discover the law of attraction. And then I would say, the best teachings, so to speak, the most accurate teachings, at least in my perspective, then we come towards the law of assumption and Neville's teachings, right? And then, of course, we are intrigued, we're interested, we then start to apply the teachings, right? We start to shift our inner state. Or we understand that, hey, I shift into this state of the wish fulfill. I align myself with the version of me that has achieved the goal. I imagine myself into this new reality, right? Then we make the shift. And then we are experiencing improved circumstance, right? Then we see, oh, it works. Oh yeah, my inner world is also reflected in my outside. So then we see it works. And then we start to manifest goals. And then maybe we become lazy. Maybe we become simply satisfied with how our life is currently. And then we kind of like forget the manifestation teachings. They go in the back of our mind again. They almost seem like lost. And we forget about this. And the key word that is a big obstacle here is people then get entangled again in their life circumstances. So it's like you discover it, you start to apply it, you see shifts, but then eventually, either because you're lazy, spiritually lazy to make those inner movements, either because you just forget about it, or again, because you simply get entangled again in life. You forget yourself in the circumstances, you forget yourself in the dream of life, and you just keep living. But it's like, imagine you have a garden in your house or in your flat, and you have a garden outside, and you plant some nice seeds, you have nice flowers, roses, and other amazing flowers. Your garden looks amazing, and then you're like, yeah, this garden is amazing. I can pause right now, so to speak, to do anything for the garden, and then you just enjoy the garden, and you enjoy the garden, but you're not nurturing it, right? You're not planting new seeds. You're not taking care of the weeds that start to slowly grow in between the roses and the other beautiful flowers that you've planted the seeds for that are growing. But because we are then falling unaware again, we're falling asleep again, is that we might also dwell on undesired moods again, which then start to express, and they can then grow and grow and grow. And before we even notice it, boom, again, triggers, again, dissatisfied, again, feeling stuck, again, feeling limited. And then we're like, whoa, what should I do? What should I do? Oh my God, I thought now that I know manifestation, everything will forever be amazing. Yeah, we forgot the teachings, right? We got entangled back in life. And this is another illustration that I want you to understand. And that is, this right here represents your inner state, right? This axis, and this axis represents time. So as time goes by, we see what happens, right? As time goes by, point beginning is, okay, you shift into the new state, right? Your inner state is that, and it's full, you're full in the inner state, right? 100%, you're in the wish fulfilled, all is amazing. But as you see here, as time goes by, usually, because then people forget about the teachings and they lose themselves and get entangled in their lives and circumstances, the desire state starts to decrease and decline again, and the old state is coming up. And usually a month is kind of like this, the sweet spot that I noticed. Then it's the turning point where the old state grow, like that which has previously been habitual, that habit starts to come back, and that desire state in which we actually wanted to shift into, that goes away, and boom, after 2 months maybe we're back in the old state and everything is the same and nothing has changed, right? What is the key learning out of this? Well, the key learning, of course, is to simply keep the desire state unpolluted and stay in the inner state as much as we can, right? And not get entangled in the old state. And this is what we're going to talk about right now, how to not fall victim to your old habitual states. Okay, so let's talk about this right now. I prepared some quotes. You really have to listen carefully right now so that this sinks deep in your awareness and that this helps you to make changes in your life. So like Neville Goddard said, a mood often repeated gains a momentum that is hard to break or check. So be careful of the feelings you entertain. Habitual moods reveal the state with which you are fused, right? But that is such a powerful statement, right? A mood, a certain state you dwell on, unwittingly even, repeated, gains the momentum, right? So every state eventually gains the momentum where it's hard to break. It's just like it's just the ball, like the ball starts rolling up, downward the hill, and at some point it's very hard to stop the ball. It gains such a momentum. The same for a state, right? Once one's health is so habitual and natural and obvious to you, you would need to imagine the opposite for quite some time to start and see, unhealthy reflections in your life and reflections of potential illness. Same with anything else, right? If you right now have a momentum for illness, you need to now build a momentum for health. If you now have a momentum for financial struggle, that has a momentum. It will always drag you back. So you have to stay in the new state. And what the key way is to do that, right, is that you're in the right environment, is that you are surrounded by a community, because you can know all of those teachings, they can make sense of you, but eventually you're still partly having the human experience. So it is very likely that also you watching this video right now, that you eventually will get entangled back in your life circumstances, and you will kind of overlook those teachings, and then you will have challenging circumstances again, or problems that seem final. But if you are in a community, a movement, a space which nurtures and encourages you to keep those things in the always accessible, those teachings, and reminds you to stay in your desired state, then you can actually make profound changes. So check out the second link in the video description, join our procurement community, and at least watch the video that I prepared for you on the page. If you click upgradeyourlife.com/join, the second link in the description, at least check out what I made for you, at least check out what we've built, and then you can judge by yourself if you want to take it and try it or not. But that's the thing, right? A state gains the momentum, and we have, and that momentum, it becomes habitual, right? We are creatures of habit, and a habit, though not law, acts like the most compelling law in the world, right? We can break each habit, but a habit is like its own law. It has its own momentum, right? And once it's there and established over years and years and years, sometimes it can seemingly be hard to break that habit. So we have to first of all understand, hey, that's because I'm in that state that has been becoming so natural for me. So we have to go in a new state where we are like free of this habit, where we are now the person who we want to be, that comes with like new habits. But it's all about still this identity shift, this state shift. And also important is, don't condemn yourself for the state into which you have fallen. That might happen, that we become unaware again, we fall asleep again, we become unconscious again, and then something undesirable manifested. If so, non-critically, in a non-judging way, observe it, acknowledge it, but don't judge yourself, because that will simply identify you, that will make you identify yourself more and more with that undesired state, right? If you don't like it, move into another state. You are free to shift states, right? Don't feel sorry for yourself, for if you do, you will make that state a habit, right? And you will remain there for the rest of your days on earth. Instead, you can move out of any state that is the freedom, right? We are state choosers, state shifters, but that we are not the state and we are not the circumstance. We are awareness that is identified with a bunch of states which are expressed in our life. And if we don't like the expression, we don't try to change the expression, we change the state, we shift in a new state which will lead to a new expression of circumstances. It is nice to change a mood from some unlovely to a lovely, but I want a transformation. And by transformation, I mean that when one state into which I have moved and move so often that it becomes a habit, and that state grows stable, then that central habitual state defines my character and really constitutes my new world, right? So what Neville is saying here, summed up, is that we don't just want a slight readjustment of the surfaces. We don't just want to, quickly for some seconds dwell on a little bit more lovely mood. No, Neville's talking about a transformation, right? To change your life, making a 180-degree turn if you want to, if you have such a strong desire to really change your life. It depends on what you want, but you can really transform yourself so that people don't recognize you or that you don't recognize yourself, that you're really a new version of yourself because you have built the momentum up internally for a new state, for a new identity. If I only do a little bit and return to my former state, then I might have a temporary lift, but I will not notice a radical changes in my outer world, right? So if you just think about your desire state a little bit and imagine it a little bit what it would be like, but then for 99.9% of the rest of the time, you are back in the old state, then and you get entangled in it, then of course you might get it, like Neville said, you get a temporary lift. You maybe get like a little confirmation and a sign, so to speak, that you shifted, but then it will just stay stuck. Then you will not see more changes because you've fallen back into the old state because you did not have practiced self-awareness, because you fell asleep again, you got entangled in your old circumstances again, and then you lose yourself again in the old state. Instead of being surrounded by a community and the framework and teachings and my personal support that will prevent you to fall into that trap. Right, so that you not only have a temporary lift, but a lasting lift and change in your life, right? A radical change in your outer world. I will notice these changes in my outer world if inwardly I have truly changed. Then without effort on my part, I will find the outer world changing to correspond to changes that took place within me. Like I always teach, as within, so without. Outer world follows where you've placed yourself within. Right? Where you're first placing yourself within is determining where you will eventually also be on the outside. Where you are placing yourself persistently within, in consciousness, in your inner world, right, in your subjective world, where you dwell within, is determining where eventually you will also end up on the outside. That is a law. That is the truth. And you can test that. Right? I'm not here to force a philosophy or beliefs onto someone. I'm sharing what works for me, what works for the members in our community. And if that resonates, you can join us. Right? But yeah, without effort, right? Automatically, you will be moved. You as the external self, you can't do something by yourself. You have free will to subjectively select what you want, but then how exactly in the minutes detail that is expressed, that is life that will express that through you. And whatever is necessary from your part to do, you will do that automatically. I have a lot of videos on my channel on actions. If that interests you, what about actions when we manifest? But that's it, right? The changes that first took place within, right? So you first built the new state, you first built that new momentum within, and then more and more and more and more will that also be shown on the outside. So I urge you to use your own wonderful creative power and deliberately move into the state of your choice. Make it now by occupying the state long enough so that it feels natural. Right? What are you waiting for? Why are you not joining a community? Why are you not applying something step by step? Yes, the teachings are out there. You're watching this video right now. That's all it takes. But sometimes I notice that when you commit to something, to a movement, a bigger vision, right? With the Upgrade to Life community and program, it's not only about that we are going to accomplish your manifestations, which is what we will do, but it's also about that we change the world, that we have a bigger vision together, like a movement on which we work. So that's why, this is also including, or this also comes with a price, right? It's a commitment from you. Because if I would make it for free, it would be there right now. I mean, I do it for free on YouTube. But if you want to be committed to yourself, to your life, to this vision, then I recommend you join us. Because then it's like you pay like a gym membership, and then you kind of feel stupid if you then don't do something and you just pay and pay and pay and pay, but you don't do it. But here's like you don't pay for anything, and you could also be like, yeah, why shift right now? Why really take my goals serious? And then you continue to be in this mediocre, unhappy kind of state. So again, I urge you to do it. I urge you to apply it. I urge you to move within and shift within right now. You may desire the state of fame. If you will think you're famous and remain conscious of the state long enough to make it natural, as thoughts flow from you, they become a natural part of the body of beliefs, and the world will proclaim your fame. Basically meaning, if your desire, for example, is fame, could be any other state, could be any other desire as well, but you start to become conscious of fame. What would it be like to be famous? What would it imply to me? What would someone say to me? What would the mood be like? How would that identity of me that is famous, how would this identity see the world? And you become one with it, you merge with it in consciousness first, right? Then also your outside world, the world will also proclaim your fame and will reward you and confirm to you that which you have first given yourself within. Because like Neville Goddard said, the world is a mirror forever reflecting what you first give yourself within. And now, let us go into silence. Now let us shift with it. What you can do is you can close your eyes if you have time right now. If not, pause the video and do it later. But you can close your eyes and you can imagine a scene that implies that you are in your desired state. And by the way, we do that together in the Upgrade Your Life program every week. So we do guided imagination sessions together where we all occupy our desired states. Meaning, if you look at my screen right now, if you right now have desires, if you right now feel stuck and like locked in your current reality and you feel triggered, you feel you have desires, you have a certain hunger for something, it needs a hunger, right? It needs you to want to change something. And you understand that, okay, this change will only come when you are aligned with the version of you that has already those new desired circumstances, and you want to make this shift and you want to unlock, so to speak, your new reality, then I invite you to join us, right? Second link in the video description, upgradeyourlife.com/join. You'll get access to not only your framework of teachings step by step that I've built and basically defined sharper and sharper and sharper over the years after I've worked with hundreds of people that you could follow and implement in your life to make the shift happen and not fall in the gap of doubts, fears, worries, limiting beliefs, right? Not only do you get access to that, not only do you get access to me personally where you can speak with me and chat with me, not only do you get access to a community of people who are all learning and applying those teachings and implementing them and sharing their insights and getting better and overcoming pitfalls together, but also will you be part of an authentic movement that has the bigger vision to change the world, to make the world a better place by applying those principles and also sharing them with others around us, right? That is why this is not free. If I make it free, I can't really see that the people who come in mean it serious and want to be part of and are able to commit themselves to something. That is why, yes, this costs something. You can check this all out on the next page if you click the second link in the video description. Just see what I prepared for you, and if it does make sense, if you do resonate with what I share here, join us, check it out. I'm sure you're going to love it. And thanks for watching this video. And this is why you fall back in your old state, right? Because you get entangled too quickly back in your circumstances instead of staying aware, shifting back into the wish fulfilled. And because your old state has gained a certain momentum, which you can only break when you're in the right environment that reminds you to stay in your desired state so that you can build a momentum for your desired state. So I would like to give that to you. The choice is yours. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye.